From ancient myths of flying chariots to the sleek jets that crisscrossed our skies today, humanity's dream of flight has been one of our most enduring and inspiring quests. But how did we get from wishful thinking to soaring above the clouds? Let's take a journey through the incredible history and evolution of the airplane. Our story doesn't begin with engines and metal, but with paper and silk. For centuries, kites in ancient China weren't just toys. They were tools for signaling, measuring distances, and even testing wind conditions. These early experiments taught us fundamental principles about how air can lift an object. Thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci, centuries later, were captivated by the idea of flight. He meticulously studied birds, filling notebooks with detailed sketches of flapping wing machines or while his designs were too heavy to fly, his scientific approach laid crucial groundwork, shifting the dream of flight from pure fantasy into the realm of engineering. The 18th and 19th centuries saw a major breakthrough with the hot air balloon. The Montgolfier brothers in France proved that we could indeed leave the ground, but these balloons were at the mercy of the wind. The challenge shifted. How could we control our journey through the air? This question inspired a new generation of pioneers. Sir George Cayley, an English engineer, is often called the father of aviation. He was the first to understand and separate the forces of lift, drag, thrust, and weight. He ditched the idea of flapping wings and instead proposed a fixed-wing design with separate systems for propulsion and control, the basic blueprint for every modern aircraft. He even built and flew successful gliders, proving his theories were sound. Following Cayley's lead, innovators like Otto Lilienthal in Germany became true daredevils of the skies. In the late 1800s, he made over 2,000 successful glider flights, meticulously recording his findings. He controlled his gliders by shifting his body weight, just like a modern hang glider pilot. Lilienthal's work was incredibly influential, but it also highlighted the remaining dangers and challenges of unpowered flight. His famous last words, "Sacrifices must be made," echoed the high stakes of this aerial pursuit. Now, let's travel across the Atlantic to Dayton, Ohio, where two brothers who ran a bicycle shop were about to change the world forever. Wilbur and Orville Wright were not just brilliant mechanics, they were methodical scientists. They realized that the biggest unsolved problem wasn't just lift or power, it was control. They observed how birds twisted their wingtips to steer and balance, and they developed an ingenious system called wing warping to mimic this on their glider. They built their own wind tunnel to test different wing shapes, gathering more accurate data than anyone before them. Finally, on a cold, windy morning, December 17th, 1903, at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the moment arrived. After a few failed attempts, Orville took the controls of the Wright Flyer. It was a flimsy-looking machine made of spruce and fabric, with a small, custom-built engine. For 12 seconds, it lifted off the ground under its own power and flew for 120 feet. It wasn't far, but it was the first sustained, controlled, powered flight in history. They made 3 more flights that day, with Wilbur's final flight lasting a remarkable 59 seconds. The age of aviation had begun. The world, however, was slow to catch on. It took a few years of refinement and public demonstrations, especially in Europe, for people to truly grasp what the Wright brothers had accomplished. But once they did, progress exploded. The First World War, just a decade later, tragically accelerated aviation development at an incredible pace. Planes evolved from rickety observation platforms into specialized dogfighters, bombers, and reconnaissance aircraft. Engines became more powerful, and airframes became more robust. Pilots went from being daredevils to national heroes, and aerial combat tactics were born in the skies over Europe. The period between the wars is often called the Golden Age of aviation. Airplanes became faster, safer, and capable of flying longer distances. Visionaries like Charles Lindbergh captured the world's imagination with his solo non-stop flight across the Atlantic in 1927, proving that long-distance air travel was possible. Commercial airlines began to form, offering passenger services that were once the stuff of dreams. Iconic aircraft like the Douglas DC-3 emerged, a reliable and profitable plane that truly made air travel accessible to the masses. Flying was no longer just for daredevils and soldiers. It was becoming a new way to connect the world. Then came the jet age. The Second World War saw another dramatic leap in technology, with the development of the first operational jet fighters, like the Messerschmitt Me-262. The principle was revolutionary. Instead of a propeller pulling the plane, a jet engine pushed it forward with immense force. After the war, this technology was adapted for commercial aviation. The de Havilland Comet became the first commercial jetliner in 1952. But it was the Boeing 707, introduced in the late 50s, that truly ushered in the jet age for passengers. Travel times were slashed. A trip across the Atlantic that took over 15 hours on a propeller plane could now be done in less than 7. The world suddenly felt much smaller. Over the next few decades, jetliners became bigger and more efficient. The iconic Boeing 747, the queen of the skies, with its distinctive hump, revolutionized long-haul travel, making international flights affordable for millions. Supersonic travel briefly became a reality with the Concorde, a magnificent aircraft that could cross the Atlantic in under 3 hours, flying faster than the speed of sound. While the Concorde was an engineering marvel, economic and environmental factors eventually led to its retirement. Today, we live in an era of incredible aviation, diversity, and innovation. Modern aircraft are built with lightweight composite materials, like carbon fiber, making them stronger and more fuel. Advanced fly-by-wire systems use computers to assist pilots, making planes safer and easier to handle. We have massive double-decker jets like the Airbus A380 that can carry over 800 passengers, and incredibly efficient long-range planes like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner that can connect almost any 2 cities on the globe non-stop. And the evolution is far from over. Engineers are constantly working on the next generation of aircraft. We're seeing the rise of electric and hybrid planes aimed at reducing aviation's environmental impact. Urban air mobility, with flying taxis and personal drones, might soon change how we move around our cities. And as we look to the stars, companies are developing reusable rockets and spaceplanes that blur the line between atmospheric and spaceflight. From Da Vinci's sketches to the Wright brothers' 12-second flight, and from the golden age of propellers to the hum of a modern jet engine, the story of the airplane is a testament to human ingenuity, perseverance, and our unyielding desire to reach for the skies. It's a journey that has connected cultures, powered economies, and fundamentally changed our perspective of the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through aviation history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about the amazing world of science and engineering. See you next time.